Andrew Garfield stepped into the spotlight at the 2025 Golden Globes, and the internet lost its collective mind, but not for the reasons he intended. The actor, fresh off the emotional highs of We Live in Time, and still riding the wave from his Spider-Man days, found himself at the center of a viral storm. There he was on stage with Kerry Washington presenting an award, his shirt artfully or accidentally unbuttoned just enough to tease a glimpse of chest, a pair of sleek glasses perched on his nose, and a facial expression that screamed brooding intensity. Fans dubbed it the thirst trap heard round the world, with memes exploding across social media. Andrew Garfield just invented sexy panic, one tweet read. Another, if Neurosis is a cologne, Andy's wearing it. But Garfield, ever the self-deprecating charmer, couldn't have been further from the seductive vibe the online hive mind projected. In a candid chat with MTV's Josh Horowitz, Garfield dissected the moment with the precision of a method actor breaking down a scene. Did I know the power I held up there? He echoed the interviewer's question, chuckling at the absurdity. Everyone else was projecting something entirely different. What the audience, and later the TikTok editors, saw as deliberate allure was in Garfield's mind, a frantic improv of survival instincts. He painted the picture vividly. Moments before striding out under the blinding lights of the Beverly Hilton ballroom, he was the epitome of cool, relaxed shoulders, easy smile, the kind of pre-show zen that comes from years of red carpets and acceptance speeches. But as soon as he crossed that threshold, the facade cracked. You're surrounded by your peers and other people you admire and have admired since you were a child, he explained, his voice dropping to mimic the sudden vertigo. Your heart starts racing and you start feeling this kind of unbridled terror. It's a universal actor's rite of passage, that split second where the glamour evaporates, leaving raw vulnerability in its wake. Garfield, no stranger to high-stakes moments, from swinging through New York as Peter Parker to unraveling grief in Tick, Tick, Boom, found himself adrift in a sea of A-listers. There was Meryl Streep in the front row, a living legend whose mere presence could induce stage fright, DiCaprio nursing a drink, exuding that effortless cool, and the teleprompter, that faithful script oracle, mocking him from afar. The crisis peaked as he settled into position beside Washington, the poised powerhouse whose own career spanned scandal to little fires everywhere. Garfield glanced at the prompter, squinting futilely. OFK. I can't actually see the fking teleprompter. Did I bring my glasses? Yes, they're in my right hand. Put the glasses on. Okay, great, now I can see, he recounted, his inner monologue spilling out like a confessional. The glasses, simple intellectual frames that screamed, leading man with depth, slid on, transforming him in an instant. But salvation was short-lived. As the words came into focus, so did a new horror, his shirt. I do not want to give people this much of my flesh, he thought, horrified, his British reserve clashing with Hollywood's anything-goes ethos. In a desperate bid for modesty, Garfield reached to button up, only for the fabric to rebel, gaping wider like a wardrobe malfunction scripted by Murphy himself. There he stood, exposed, literally and figuratively, under the gaze of millions. With no escape hatch, he defaulted to the actor's oldest trick, breathe. Okay, just breathe. I breathe and that makes me do a facial thing. I don't know, he said, demonstrating with an exaggerated exhale that turned into a smoldering half-smile. It was the kind of unintentional charisma that had fans pausing mid-scroll. Was that a smirk? A sigh? The birth of a meme? And then, everyone thinks I'm trying to be sexy, Garfield laughed, shaking his head. But in truth, Neurosis is, I guess, kinda sexy ultimately. The irony wasn't lost on him. Garfield's career had been built on that very alchemy, turning vulnerability into allure. From his breakout in The Social Network, as the earnest Eduardo Saverin, to the heartbreaking tenderness of Never Let Me Go, he had mastered the art of the everyman heartthrob. Spider-Man brought global frenzy, but it was his post-suit roles that solidified his rep as Hollywood's thinking man's crush. The widower in Under the Silver Lake, the queer icon in Tick, Tick, Boom, the time-bending romantic in We Live in Time. Each part peeled back layers, revealing a performer who thrived on emotional exposure. So, perhaps it was fitting that a moment of pure panic became his most sexy, yet, proof that Garfield's charm was as accidental as it was authentic. The Golden Globes themselves had been a glittering whirlwind on January 5, 2025, a night where the HFPA's redemption arc clashed with old-school glamour. Adrien Brody snagged Male Actor in a Motion Picture drama for his tour de force in The Brutalist, a raw portrayal of an immigrant architect that had critics buzzing about a comeback kid. Fernanda Torres took home Female Actor honors for I'm Still Here, her searing turn as a Brazilian woman grappling with family secrets earning teary applause. The room pulsed with energy. Zendaya in a liquid gold gown, Timothée Chalamet trading quips with Kylie Jenner, and a surprise performance by Billie Eilish that blurred the lines between indie darling and award season staple. Garfield's presentation, a nod to excellence in television, had been meant to honor that spirit, but it was his oops that stole the show. Social media amplified the chaos. Clips of the moment racked up millions of views, spawning edits set to sultry tracks like The Weeknd's Blinding Lights or Lana Del Rey's Blue Jeans. Fashion blogs dissected the look, the unbuttoned shirt a nod to 70s rockstar dishevelment, the glasses channeling intellectual sex appeal a la Colin Firth in Bridget Jones. Even Kerry Washington got in on the fun, posting a selfie with the caption, "Co-presenting with Chaos King at Andrew Garfield, next time, we rehearse the wardrobe." Garfield, scrolling from his post-event downtime, found it equal parts flattering and bewildering. "I love that it sparked joy or whatever," he told Horowitz. "But honestly, it's just me being a hot mess." This wasn't Garfield's first brush with viral vulnerability. Back in 2021, his tearful Golden Globe speech for Tick Tick, Boom, dedicated to the late Stephen Sondheim, had humanized him amid superhero fame. And who could forget the 2017 Oscars couch jumping with Emma Stone, a playful nod to his La La Land role that cemented his fun guy status. Yet the 2025 mishap felt different, more meta, a commentary on the performative nature of fame. In an era where every red carpet is a content farm, Garfield's rawness cut through the filter. It reminded fans that behind the chiseled jaw and soulful eyes was a guy who still got butterflies, who fumbled buttons like the rest of us. As award season ramps up, Garfield's poised for more spotlights. We Live in Time, his poignant romance with Florence Pugh, is generating Oscar whispers, while rumors swirl of a Spider-Man return that could shatter multiverses. But for now he's content laughing at his own legend. "Neurosis is sexy," he quipped, a mantra for every performer who's ever winged it on stage. In a town built on illusion, Garfield's real superpower? Being unapologetically, adorably human.